Welcome to ilectureonline. Now we're going to find the acceleration vector given the position vector. Now notice that this is in terms of the parametric variable time in the x direction and in the y direction. So first we'll do it in the x and y direction, and then we'll find the normal and tangential components. We'll do that in the next video. We're also going to graph it so that way we can have a better understanding of what's actually going on here. So first what we need to do is we need to find the velocity vector and then the acceleration vector by doing two derivatives. So first we can say the velocity vector as a function of time is equal to, we take the derivative here, that would be 1 times in the I direction, plus take the derivative here, that's 2 times 1/2, which is 1 times t to the first power in the j direction. Now let's do it again. The acceleration vector as a function of time is equal to 0 in the I direction, and plus 1 in the j direction. So you can see that there's a constant acceleration in the y direction only and 0 acceleration in the x direction. So what does that look like on the graph, on the xy graph? What we're going to do is we'll set up a table of values, plug in some values for t, and see what position the particle will have as it moves along the curve. So here we have the variable t, and then r, which of course is t in the I direction, plus 1/2, like this, plus 1/2 t squared in the j direction. So when t is equal to 0, that gives us r is equal to 0 in the I direction plus 0 in the j direction, which means we are at the origin. When time is equal to 1, that means that this will be 1 in the I direction plus 1/2 in the j direction. So that's 1, that would be right there. If t is equal to 2, that would be 2 in the I direction plus 2 in the j direction. There we go. So that would be 2 and 2, that would be right about there. If t is equal to 3, that will give us 3 in the I direction plus 4.5 in the j direction. So that would be 3 and 4.5. That would be about here. And then we have when t is equal to 4, that would be 4 in the I direction plus 8 in the j direction. So it would be 4 and 8 right there. Notice by the lines that I drew, I knew what was coming. But you can see now the curve, that's the S curve, if you want to call it that. That's the path of the particle. Let me just move the point over a little bit. There we go. And now what does the, let's say, velocity vector look like? What does the acceleration vector look like along some of these points? Let's take this point right here. Notice our velocity vector, v when time is equal to 1 is going to be equal to 1 in the I direction plus 1 in the j direction. So my velocity vector, and let's use a different colors, will look something like this. So this will be my velocity vector when time is equal to 1. What will my acceleration vector look like at that time? Well, my acceleration vector when time is equal to 1 is equal to, that would be 0 plus 1. So 0 in the I direction plus 1 in the j direction. Notice the acceleration vector doesn't change with time. It's not dependent on time. So it's always going to have a vector that looks like this. So this here will be the acceleration vector when time is equal to 1. So let's now move to a different point. Let's move to the third point right here, where t is equal to 3. And again, we'll take the velocity vector when time is equal to 3 is equal to, that would be 1 in the I direction plus 3 in the j direction. So you can see that at that point, my velocity vector will look something like this. It will move faster in a much more steep direction. So velocity vector when time is equal to 3. And then we realize the acceleration vector will still be a constant. Where did my pen go? So my velocity vector will still be like this. Those will be a when time is equal to 3. In other words, there's no change in the acceleration vector. And that's kind of a little bit crooked. Let me try that again. There, a little better. So notice my velocity vector is constantly changing because the y component depends on t. The x component will always be 1. And my acceleration vector will be 1 in the y direction no matter where we are on the curve. So that gives you a feel of how to look at the motion along the curve and how to find the curve defined by the parametric variable t. Anyway, that's how we find the acceleration vector when we're only dealing with the x and y components, but you can see that the acceleration vector is neither tangent to the curve nor perpendicular to the curve. So to do that, well, you have to stick around because we'll do part 2 in our next video to show you how to find the normal and tangent components of the acceleration for this particular position vector. So stay tuned, we'll show you how to do that.